Hello everyone, my Cricut maker has arrived, and the majority of you voted that you did want to see me do an unboxing, so here we go. This is a pretty big box and I have my tripod up as high as it can go, so I'll do the best that I can to get everything on camera for you, and then I am going to go ahead and actually plug it in and set it up and run it through, and I'm going to try and record on my phone and my camera at the same time so that you can sort of see. I'll do like a dual screen if I can, so you can see exactly how everything is working. So this is the Cricut Maker. I previously had the Cricut Explorer, which is like 2 machines ago. I love my Explorer. It's great for paper crafting, but for those of you who follow my Instagram, you know that I also do a lot of sewing, and I make a lot of like little felt foods for kids to play with that I sell at some craft shows. So I wanted something to help me cut out those designs. I've been doing that all by hand. I had at one point tried to do that with the Explorer, and it will cut felt, but it has to be the very thin felt, and you have to add stabilizer to the back of it. So by the time I ironed all of that on and cut it down to 12 by 12, it really wasn't saving me much time at all. So I'm hoping with this one, since it has the rotary blade, it will work a lot better for cutting that stuff out. So that is why I decided to get a maker. If you are a paper crafter, I think that probably the Explorer or the next machine up, I think it's the Explorer Air, would be perfectly fine if you're just looking to do paper and cutting. And I do like to use this or my Explorer to write with the pens if I want a different sentiment for the inside of a card and I don't have a stamp that works. But the reason I have been thinking about this one for a while was for the additional sewing and, like I said, cutting out the felt. So that's why I ultimately decided to go with this one. So they have them in a couple different colors. There's like a champagne, I think a blue, a mint, and a pink. I decided to go ahead with the mint since most of my craft room stuff is white and mint. They are running a sale right now. I am not sure how long it is. I know it's for Easter, and I think it's sort of their anniversary as well. So I ended up getting the maker as well as the sort of essential bundles kit, and that saved me over $150. I knew that I was going to want some of the different cutting blades, so for me that was just the better way to go. The machine right now, just by itself, which does come with quite a bit, I think you're saving maybe $30 or $40 off of that. Okay, so I will link all that below for you. Like I said, I don't know how long the sale is running. It is free shipping for anything over $75, and then the machines themselves are also discounted for Easter and their anniversary sale. All right, let's go ahead and unbox this, and like I said, I'm going to try and show you as best as I can, but it is a really big box, and then bear with me. I'm going to get stuff set up to show you the actual machine and try and zoom out further so you can see what's going on as I do the first couple cuts with it. Okay. Okay, pull this out and we'll look at that in a second. It comes with, this is the, can you see that? This is the pink fabric mat, and then it also comes with this blue light grip mat. Is there anything else under here? There is not. Don't have a lot of room in my craft area, so I'm going to get as much back in here as I can. Okay, so like like you saw, I pulled out the cord. And let me give you a quick look here at the machine. I can already tell it is a gorgeous mint color. Oh, I love it. Okay. Scissors. Okay, so the big difference between this one and the last one is it does not take the cartridges. You would have to have a computer to hook this up to, whereas the last version did have a little space over here for your pens at the top, and then you could insert a cartridge and download that onto the design space. Okay, so it opens up like this, and then this bottom part automatically folds down. It does come with one of the blades already installed, and it's got dual, so you can put your scoring pen here, or I guess have two blades. I think there's a scoring wheel as well. I don't think that came in my bundle. I'm not sure if I need it. So you just pop open, and then this slides right in. And this is already, I can tell it's a heavier machine than the Explorer. Now, I don't know how that compares to the Explorer Air, but I can already feel that it's heavier, and these snaps are much more durable. I didn't have any problems with the last one, but I can just tell, like, this is all metal over here, which is a big difference. And then this opens up here, and you can store extra blades and things like that inside. Okay, I'm gonna move this off to the side. Oh, I love that color. Okay, and then I'm gonna open up the box. So inside here is everything to get you started, and they do actually give you materials so that you can make something right out of as soon as you open it. There's some cardstock and some fabric. And a little welcome book. And I think this is probably going to be pretty similar to, isn't that adorable, the Air that I had before, but I will just sort of take a quick look through this. I love that they give you some ideas, and there's tons. If you've never looked into anything with a Cricut, their online library, you can actually do a monthly membership, which I think is like I think it ranges, but I think the lowest one is like $7 or $8 a month, and then you have access to the entire library. I did that for a while. I actually canceled it because I felt like I was using a lot of the same things, and it was going to be more beneficial to me to just purchase the few things like the fonts that I was using, because that I was going to come back to time and time again, whereas I didn't use as many of the designs. I kind of go through phases. So if I'm using it a lot, I'll pick that back up. You don't have to pay for a full year. You can just do it month by month when you feel like you need it. And that's really nice. Okay, so this is the Rotary Wheel. This is what's going to make all the difference with the fabric, I hope, at least from what I've seen with the reviews. So we already saw it came with the regular cutting blade, and it also comes with this rotary blade. And I think that's probably going to be, nope, it's not. Okay, so this is going to be a cap for the rotary blade. That's a good idea. This is the cord to hook it up to your computer. I believe you can also set it up through your Wi-Fi. I think the Explorer Air was the first one that had Wi-Fi, so mine does not have that one. I just have the Explorer. I have always used a cord with mine, and I probably will continue to do so with this one. It's just not necessary for me to have it sent via Wi-Fi. Here's a pen, a 0.4 pen, and then the warranty information. And then I'll probably get rid of this, but I will just keep this box, and then I can keep some extra accessories in here, things like that. That's what I did with my old one. And I am probably going to sell the old one that I had because it's just not necessary for me to have two, and I don't really have the room for it. So if any of you guys would be interested in that, I will of course be selling it discounted because it's used, and it will eventually pop up on my eBay. And I will try to send you guys a note on the community page, so if you're interested, you can keep an eye out for that. Okay, so that's everything that comes with just the machine. Now I also picked up the bundle, which comes with some of the larger mats. So this is a 3-pack, I believe. Yes, this is a 3-pack. So it has the purple, green, and blue. Purple is really super sticky. Green is your regular stick, and blue is the light stick. And these are both, these are all three 12 by 24. And then it also comes with one of the newer mats, which is the pink one, which is for the fabric, which is 12 by 24. Along with that, in the essentials bundle, you also get some more blades, and this is what really made it worth it for me, because the blades are quite a bit separately. So by the time I added on the additional, it was worth it because I knew I was going to get at least these, and then it also came with the other things. So this is the deep point blade, and you'll use this for wood, chipboard, leather, anything that's super thick. And then this is the bonded fabric blade, and this is for fabric that has any iron-on backing to it, if you want to you know, just iron on instead of having to sew. And then this is the fine point blade, and this is for vinyl, iron-on, which I do a lot of that. I make some onesies and things like that. And then cardstock. Like, this would be like your lighter cardstock. Okay, so you get those three, and then you also get a marking pen, which is like your regular fabric marking pen. So if you're going to do some of the patterns and things that you can download, it'll already have that in, and you'll add the pen and it'll do all the marking for you, which is going to be really handy. And then it also comes with this sewing toolkit. So you get a measuring tape. I believe this, what is that? Oh, it's a leather thimble, so when you're stitching you don't hurt your thumb. Some scissors, a seam ripper, some little tiny snippers, and then some pins and a pin cushion. So probably not anything that I really needed, but like I said, with the money I saved on getting the blades, I thought I might as well go ahead and get this as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video here. I'm gonna get everything set up, and I'm gonna bring in my computer, and we'll go through the process of setting everything up and doing the first cuts. Okay guys, so I do have my cell phone on, and it is on one of those sort of curly arms, so I'm gonna do my best not to bump it. I'm really sorry if it shakes. So I've got this plugged in, and I like that. That's a new thing there where you could add an extra mat that's next to go in, or something like that. So I'm going to turn this on. And then in Design Space, new machine setup. I accept. So I'm going to hit Get Started. And it's going to ask you to go through all of this stuff. Okay. So it looks like I'm going to have to plug it in with the cable even before I do so let me plug this in real quick. I'm going to run around the back of my machine. Again, try not to bump everything. And plug that into my computer. Slide this over. Okay, so I'll hit continue. Okay, so we're already ready to go. Now, depending on if you have Design Space downloaded or not, or if you have a previous Cricut, your firmware and everything might be up to date already. Mine is, because I do go in not often, but I like to look at least sign in and look at the new projects they have up. So I'm sure mine has updated recently enough that I don't need to do that, but I have seen other videos where people have needed to, so just keep that in mind. Okay. So we're going to do continue. And it's already taking me down here, showing me where to click. And you know what, I'm going to make this a little bit larger for you, so it'll be easier to see. So I'm going to click on this project. And then when you go down here, it's going to show you all the project details. So I'm going to click Make It. And then we're only going to have one mat. So, whoops, I'm going to hit continue. If you had more than one mat, it would show in that side list there underneath the white ones. Okay, so now it's reading and making sure that my machine is connected. Sometimes this takes a minute. Okay, so now we're going to do the material. So I'm going to grab the light, I'm sorry, not the, well, it is the material, but it's the cardstock is going to be the first thing. So I'm going to use the light grip mat. And here I've got my materials. I'm going to pull out this cardstock. So it's telling me on screen that this is a medium cardstock. 80 pounds. So actually it's saying that I should use a green mat. So I'm going to put this back on. Look, I've already got fuzz on my mat already. Ugh. The life of a crafter. Okay, so I'm actually going to stick this back down. And I do have, that's really nice, that's new, that it's showing you the colors to use for things. That's going to be really helpful to someone who's new. I think the light grip probably would have worked fine for this. I actually generally prefer it for cardstock, especially intricate cuts, but I'm going to go with what they say for now because it's a new machine. So this did not come with the machine. I'm grabbing this from my stash. It is a brand new mat. Okay. So I'm going to click on this to select that material. And I could see on the sample on the side that I want my material to run longwise. So just pay attention to that. I'm going to place that down. I'll make sure it's down nice and tight so none of the edges come up. If it's a brand new mat, you don't need to worry about this so much, but you do want to make sure there's no bubbling or anything. Okay, now it's telling me to load my pen. So I'm going to open this up. And then over here on the machine, I want to make sure I'm still recording. I am. I'm going to open up this side here, and then I just always use it with the arrow pointing out. That way you can see what you're doing. I'm sorry I don't have a better angle from the front on this, but you just stick it in until it clicks, and you will hear it click, and then you press this closed. Okay. So I'm going to hit continue. And now it's saying open clamp B and insert fine point blade. And I think that is what was included. Let me see here.
That's a fine point blade, one of the extra ones that came with this. So maybe it just gave me an extra housing. Let me just double check what this one is, if it says. Okay, I'm guessing that this is probably a regular cut blade that came with it. I'm going to actually, bear with me, I'm going to hop over to the Cricut page just to make sure. I want to see, there you can see the prices at the moment. So the maker by itself, you're saving $30. For the bundle, you're saving over $150, and then you have a big, large bundle too. That was a good price. But it didn't come with the sewing stuff and the extra blades, so I felt like this one was a better one for me. So let's just make sure here. I want to see what's included in this. Okay, so this is a fine point blade. So they must have just included an extra one, although I don't know why. I don't know why it's a different color. It is just looking like a different color in the packaging to me. But it says the premium fine point blade and housing are included. The only other blade that came in with this stuff was the Rotary Wheel.
So I'm going to use the one that came in the machine, and it just slides right down in there. You flip this over and snap that shut. Okay, I'm going to go back over to Design Space, and that's good to go. And now I'm going to load the machine onto my mat. So the way you do that is you put this in. You don't really need to press on it. You just want to make sure that it's underneath both of these little edges here, and that it's up against the wheels, and then you'll hit the arrow button, and that will take it in. And I'm actually going to slide this back just slightly because I don't want the mat to run into my desk. I'm working in a very small area here, and I just want to make sure, yeah, you can still see what's going on. Okay, so now it's telling me to press go, which is the blinking Cricut button. And it's going to show me on screen exactly where I'm at in the process. Okay, so if you look at the screen, it's telling me to go ahead and press the unload button. So there is the finished section of that. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this side clamp here, pull out that pen, and I'm going to go ahead and stick that right back down. Now, when you get into crafting, I have ruined many a pen by forgetting that it was there with the cap open. So try to remember, make yourself a big note on the top of your lid of the Cricut if you need to say, close the pen, because they're not cheap. I mean, they work great. It's not like the most expensive thing in the world, but you don't want to dry them out. I've done that and it really sucks. Okay, so I'm gonna pop that in the tool holder there. Now, to remove the cardstock, and I sort of also figured this out the hard way, you don't want to peel off of the mat. You want to peel the mat off of the paper. So I'm going to turn this over, and then I kind of just fold mine until the corner starts to come off. And you just want to slowly hold your paper down to your workspace. And this is fine. I'm just going to take off the extra first. And then I'll bend it a little more and peel it this way. So there you can see you've got some of your stuff stuck there. And the older your mat gets, the less little bits will stick because the sticky's just going to go away. But there you can see you've got your cutout here. On all of these corners, we're going to slide a piece of paper back there. And then it does give you some score lines here. So you could just fold this. I'm going to wait just a second and I'll pull out my scoring pad just because I find that to be easier. But let me grab one of my tools from my old machine. And that's going to help me get this stuff off. While I'm thinking of it, I'm going to try out this pen real quick. This is an American Crafts Precision pen, and I was able to use this with my Explorer. It has the same kind of tip, and it is a little less expensive. So there's a tip for you if it will fit. I never had any problems. Yeah, it fits completely fine. So there's just an extra tip for you, and you can pick these up. I have found them lots of times at Tuesday morning. The pens don't close as well as the Cricut ones do, so I always kind of hit the edge without shaking my camera too much. Hit the edge to make sure it's on there nice and tight. Okay, so these tools you can purchase separately. I already have them because they actually, I must have gotten a bundle, or either they came with the Air, but they have this little spatula. They also have a larger one, which I don't have. My sister does have it with hers though, and she really likes it. It's very nice. And then there's this little spatula. So I like to use this for the smaller bits. Be careful with this, because if you just, press really hard and try to crunch this off, you will take a lot of the sticky off of your mat. So I always just like to take this, get under the corner, and then peel these little bits off very carefully, because that way you're leaving as much sticky on your mat as you can. Some people will use some glue. There are videos that you can find on YouTube of how to add more sticky to your mat once it runs out. I have tried that and I haven't had a ton of success with it. So what I ended up doing is you can buy bundles for the light stick and the green stick. So when they are on sale, I will usually, or if I have a good coupon code, I'll buy a bundle. And I've only actually ever had to do that once, and I still have a bunch left over from that. Obviously, it depends on how much you want to use your Cricut, but I have not had a need to purchase another bundle, but I will definitely do that again the next time I need to. So another thing that I want to show you that I do is I try to keep track of how many times that I have used my mat, and I'm looking for my, yeah, here it is. So I will take a Sharpie and I will make a mark here. Because I started, well, I used really this whole side. I did use sticky on all of that, but I will alternate which direction I use my mat in, and I mark down each time I use it. So I know that I have used this once, and I will just keep adding a line. And then I know when I sort of get, like over here, most of my sticky is probably gonna be gone, and I'm gonna use this for something that is not terribly intricate, because it'll still work if you're doing a large square and doing some writing for a card, but it's not necessarily what you want for something to cut as intricate as this smile phrase. And then, as I said, you can put the mat in both ways. So since I put it in this way the last time. And the way that I know that is I always start with the hole at the top. So I know I've used it once. So the next time I will put my paper down and I will stick it in this way. And that way I kind of get an even use all over my mat. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add my protector back down on top. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just try to match up that hole as best as I can. And it's not perfect. And I'm gonna set that off to the side. I'm gonna hit continue here. And now I'm gonna get the card put together. So I'm just gonna grab my Fiskars here, and I'll get my scoring tool. It's probably underneath all of this because I often, here it is, forget to put it away. Okay, so I'm just gonna line up those two little score marks. And these are really, I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna hold it up to try and give you, can you see where that score mark is? I hope you can. It's right here. And these are really helpful. If you're doing layered cuts, they will give you sort of little marks like this, so you know where to place the layer on top, and you're not guessing so much. So that is something really helpful that they do. So I'm going to line this up here and just add a score line. And then when I score things, I often will fold from the front. But then I'll line it up and actually run my bone folder along the back. That way you don't get any, if anything should happen to come off of it, it's going to go in the back rather than the front. Okay, so now that's folded. And the next thing we need from our pouch is this blue background paper. I did want to point out to you guys too, this is a textured paper. If you can see that, but look how well that pen wrote on top of that. I was a little bit when I pulled it out and saw that it was textured, and I thought, am I gonna go on this side? But that definitely was the outside, so I thought I'm just gonna go with it and trust them and do it, and it worked great. So then you're going to slide the paper in here. So let's see, I think, yeah, we're gonna slide it in like this according to the directions. So I'm going to do the smaller ones first. So I think they're going to be the most difficult. Okay. And this is a really smart idea on how to do this, because I was actually thinking when I looked at it that it was going to be the opposite. You know what? I should have done the larger one first. So let's take that one out. That down in there. I was actually thinking it was going to cut off the edges, and then we're just going to glue this behind it. But this was a really smart idea to kind of just get it tucked in there like that. Okay, we have a little white border all the way around, and that's tucked in. So there is the first card. And there's one more step to this, I think. So I'm going to hit continue. Yeah, so now we can embellish the card. So this is going to be changing the blade and using some fabric. So I'm going to hit continue. And okay, so we're going to do new project. Images. Okay, so this is a little look inside what they have in the image library for you. This is, as I said, you can purchase it month to month. I think you save money if you purchase it for a whole year, but when you buy either the Explorer or the Maker machines, you do get, I think it's 2 weeks free to use this, so that you can get an idea and play around with it and see if it's something that you're going to want. Okay, so we're going to type in kite. I'm just making sure my phone is still recording. Click on that, and then we'll click insert image. And you can't see it very well, but down at the bottom here, if you see where my mouse is, you can actually get more than one image at a time. You can go, like I could click on this one as well. I don't think it's gonna let me do it at the moment, but it will show you down here it'll go along the bottom and tell you all of the images that you have selected, and it will take all of those at one time into your canvas. I hope I'm not giving you too much at once. Okay, so you can here change the color, which really when you're changing color in Design Space, it's just so that you know which mat to put it on or which cardstock to cut it out. But just to make it easier to see. So you wouldn't really, that doesn't really do anything for what you're working on unless you're doing like a print and then cut. But you can also change the size. Now this is already in the exact size that we need, so we're not gonna mess with that. If you guys want more of a Design Space tutorial, I'm happy to do that. Let me know. I may do a few more, start doing some more Cricut projects. There's a lot already out there, so I don't want to repeat what other people are doing, but if it's something that you're interested in, I'm happy to go through it with you. Okay, so I'm going to click Make It. And here we've got our mat. So for this, I'm going to want to use the pink mat, and it's going to come up and tell me that, I think. And this is one of the mats that did come in. So, yep. So here it's telling me fabric, cotton. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, it wants me to change my clamp first. So again, this is the scoring wheel that came with the machine. It's none of my extras yet. And I'm going to switch out my blades. And as I'm placing this in, it's telling me to insert the rotary blade, ensuring that the gears fit together. So this plastic part is on top, and I think, you know, that's gonna probably help me with that. I'm gonna hold it in. Sorry, my head's gonna get in the way in a second, but I just wanna make sure. Okay, so it looks like it's matched up really well to me. I don't think it would let me close if it wasn't. But I can sort of move that and feel either side of the gear hitting, so I think I'm good. And then I'm going to click Continue. And I'm going to add the fabric to my mat. Oops. Running out of room here. Okay, so I'm going to place the fabric down. And it says place fabric on the mat, printed side down, aligning with the top left corner of the grid. So print side down. And it does always give you a little bit of leeway. So I'm actually going to use, there's a brayer that you can purchase for this. It was not included in the bundle, and I didn't get any. I did get a few extra materials when I ordered, but I did not pick up the brayer. So I'm just going to smooth this down, make sure it's nice and tight using my spatula. Okay, feels like that's good to me. And we're going to load in the mat the same way that we did. So sliding underneath these little guides here, up against the wheel, not pushing, just making sure they're touching, and then hit the load button. And I'm going to press go. Wow. That is a game changer. Okay, so I'm going to unload my mat. And then for the fabric, Not sure it actually cut. It sure doesn't look like it's cut through. I'm gonna just double check. Maybe I'm... Oh my gosh, it is. Wow, that is incredible. When I looked at that, it did not seem like that had been cut at all. Holy cow. Okay, so I'll grab my spatula because I don't want to fray my edges too much. Get under there. Wow, that's just incredible. I am amazed. Okay, so there's my kite. And I do have some sort of frayed edges here. Get rid of those. And the reason I'm doing this now is because I want to place I obviously do not have a bundle of these because they don't make them yet, or they haven't offered them in a bundle yet. So I want to make sure I get my plastic down as soon as possible. Okay, I think that's good enough. I'm gonna stick that down. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you're covering the sticky, you have a little edge there to play with. And you know what I forgot to do? Mark my mat. Okay, do one down here. That way I know that I've used it once. Okay, so I'm going to grab my card, and I think we just glue it down. Adhere kite to card. I'm going to grab a little bit of, should I use our glitter glue? Yeah, I'll just use a really thin line of that. That'll give me a little room to sort of zhuzh it around. I'm going to place that down over top of my lines. And that will finish the card. Pretty cool. I have to say, overall, I am so far very, very happy with my purchase. Okay, so I'm going to end the unboxing video now. I did also get the Cricut heat press because I've been doing a lot of onesies for craft fairs and things. So I wanted to give that a try. I think it's going to be much easier than ironing. So I'm going to open that next. If you're interested, you know, hang on, that video will be coming shortly. I don't know if it'll be today or tomorrow, but I'm going to do it now, so hopefully I can have it up for you live soon. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions, if there's any, you know, specific project that you want me to go through with you. Like I said, I'm going to do the iron-on, and I'll sit down and think about, you know, anything else that you might be interested in. I was also thinking I might go through and pull out each of the different types of Cricut sort of products and fabrics and iron-ons and adhesives and things like that. I know they have balsa wood and of course felt, which is what I really purchased it for. So I think maybe we'll do a project with each of the different materials, and then again, if there's something specific that you want to know about, let me know and I'm happy to do a video for you. So keep an eye out for those, and I will be back very shortly with the unboxing of the heat press, and we'll check that out together.